Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. With us today, we have the Joseph Loughran, our Marketing Vice President, and our guest speaker, Andrew Costas. So just a few things that we're going to mention before diving in. So, you hear about final expense, and I'm sure you've probably been solicited by telephone operators, call centers, agents, all the above. And, it's been a hot and growing market for the last 10 years or 10, 15 years probably now. And it's, there's a lot of myths about it. There's a gray area with final expense. We feel that it's so important to always bring the best to our agents so they can provide the best platform to their clients and prospects. So obviously we've been looking into final expense for years and years and constantly tweaking and creating an awesome final expense turnkey platform for our agents. So, we thought it was important enough to bring this up on today's presentation and invite one of our top final expense carriers, which is exactly what we did. So just a few things I want to mention before moving forward. We've been getting a lot of newer agents that are coming over, and they were promised the world with another competitor of ours that focuses on just final expense. I won't mention any names. They're promised the world with these crazy, ridiculous commission schedules. And, basically they say, here's the 800 number to the carrier. If you need anything, call them directly. Basically, they're just providing a contract. And, the point behind all of that, and yes, it's great for the IMO and they can sit back and make a small commission for doing nothing. Okay. But, the point behind that is for the agent, yes, you might have a 220% contract, let's say, right? If that exists. And if you don't have anyone to speak to and no good prospecting tools or leads, then it does you no good. Okay, so, we have agents literally coming over almost every day, and they have their release in their hand saying, hey, I want to contract with you guys. And the main reason is because of our value add. It's all of the tools, all of the lead and prospecting programs that we have to help get your foot in the door to make the sale. Because let's face it, it doesn't matter what contract that you have, okay? If it's sitting on your shelf with no one to speak to, it's going to do us all no good, as we know. So it's our job to put all of this stuff together to make sure that our agents have the best tools in their toolbox so they can go out and make sales, which is the name of the game. So with that, we put together our Final Expense 101. Now, we have included, we have a bunch of sales scripts. We even have a carrier with a 12-month advance, okay? If you need that, as long as you're approved, that's fine. Various lead programs. Americo, of course, and Andrew is here to dive in further, but they have the slickest, highest tech platform that we have seen when it comes to final expense. Literally, get your application in and approved, policy by e-delivery, and you paid the same day. So no one else has that slick of a final expense platform. He's going to talk more about it in a few minutes. We also put together a really cool white paper called The Key to Earning Referrals. Okay, so everybody on this call is going to get a thank you email today, and we're going to include some of this great stuff in that email. And of course, you do have to be contracted with us. So if you are, everything will be at your fingertips. If you're not, just let us know. We'll get you up and running as soon as this afternoon or tomorrow. And you'll have all of these value add tools at your fingertips to start to utilize. So a few things I'm going to mention. If you're already contracted with Americo, no problem. We can set you up with Levinson so you can take advantage of all of our tools and prospecting and lead programs. You will, if you have written business in the last 6 months, you do need a release. If you have not, you're free to come over and take advantage of our cash for contracting incentive. So we'll give you between $100 and $400 cash with your first application. Okay, and then of course we'll match or beat your existing commission grid as well. So it's a win-win for everybody. Okay, one thing also I'm going to mention before going to the next slide. It's very important to know, you talk about value add and, Levinson's not here to just give you a contract and say, good luck, here's 1-800-AMERICO's phone number. We don't operate like that. In fact, we are your full back office, and there's no other IMO out there that you're going to get, okay, cash for contracting incentive, final expense retail website, okay, for every agent that we have. On this website, we'll have a quote engine. Your clients can go in, they can read about you, they can run a quote, and it has lead capture built in. So as soon as your client's running a quote on your retail website, you get an email instantly that says, hey, Bill Levinson just ran a quote. Here's his name, email, phone number, so you can follow up when Bill is still on your website, okay? And what the system's going to do is take that information and throw it into your CRM tool, so now you have a new prospect to market to. So even if that client doesn't buy today, they're going to get every one of your emails, say, for the next 12 or 18 months. And if they're not ready today, they might see something 6 months from now that you send out, and they say, you know what, I've been meaning to call Bill Levinson for that final expense policy. And then, boom, you make the sale. That's the name of the game. So that Agency Automator CRM tool comes free, okay? You get 1,000 prospects every single month that you can market to for final expense. You can literally go in our system and you can say, I want all clients in my zip code, let's say 33067, that fall in between the ages of 55 and 75, that have a household annual income of at least, say, $40,000, and the system will spit out 1,000 names, numbers, emails, so you can go market to. That's the name of the game. Our platform also comes with a program called LegacySafeguard, okay? This is all free, by the way, as long as you're active with us. So LegacySafeguard, we're going to dive in just a little bit more here, but LegacySafeguard is a full turnkey final expense platform you give to your clients for free, okay? And it helps them with all of the final expense and burial plans. There's an 800 number that they can call with any questions, and it helps with, who to go to for, say, wills and trusts, or, who to speak to about, let's say, a burial, let's say, stones, or any kind of final expense planning. If there's a crisis, there's an 800 number. Okay, let's say your spouse doesn't have any idea of who to call or what to do. This system walks them through everything, okay? And it's free of charge for every client that you sign up. It's called LegacySafeguard. If you would like that kit, just let us know, and we will mail that out to you. Also, included free with our final expense platform is our scholarship program. So again, what grandparent, right? Think about this. What grandparent's going to say no, right, to a final expense policy for them or their spouse, and 1 year free scholarship for little Johnny and little Jenny, their grandkids? Okay, who's going to say no for $42 a month? No one. Okay, and that's your hook. Use the $500 scholarship gift card to get your foot in the door. Give it to any prospect free, even if they don't buy a policy, just to set the appointment or the seminar or the webinar. Okay, that's value add. You talk about the differentiator, that's it right there, and all of this is free at your fingertips with Levinson's platform. Okay, moving forward, Joe, what I wanted to touch on briefly, you talk about all these tools and programs, and I know I'm going fast for some. If you would like to revisit, okay, what we did is put together an easy to understand infographic. We call it the Levinson Playbook, okay? So if it's a little overwhelming, or I'm talking fast, or I lost you, with number 4, no problem. On our website, we'll also include this in today's thank you email, is our infographic. And all it is, it looks like a picture you click on, and then every single tool, technology, platform is at your fingertips, separated by number. Okay, so you can say, oh, you know what? I can't believe they have a discounted E&O policy for $395. I didn't know that. Well, click 14. Boom, everything's in front of you. If you need more info, you fill out the form and you get a call from one of our marketers within 24 hours. So that simple. This way, everything is black and white in front of you. And so that's the marketing playbook. And then we built another one just for contracting licensing. And then we have a third one for new business. Everything, again, at your fingertips. 2018 is the year for us to improve and make things easier for our agents to understand, which is exactly what we have done with the new infographics. Okay, moving forward. So as you know, Levinson's a true brokerage outfit. We have the best of the best, and that goes for final expense, IUL, annuities, term, whatever the case is, okay? We handpicked the best carriers and products that are available to your clients. Now, we are going over Americo today, and the reason why we hand selected Americo is because they are all about technology. And when you hear how slick their platform is, no one has anything like this. So after you hear Andy's presentation, I think you will then understand a little more why we chose them for today's presentation. So just real quick, left side, straight up, guaranteed issue. I don't care what type of client or health condition that you come across, we have a product for them. Point blank, there is never going to be a situation where we don't have a product for your client. So always know that in the back of your mind. Left side is all the top guaranteed issue products and carriers available. We can stack these if needed. On the right side is all of our top final expense carriers. You see Americo, top left corner in the #1 spot. You're going to hear why in a few more minutes. All of the other carriers below that are available to all Levinson agents as well. Each one kind of has their niche, but when it comes to technology, slick platform, get your client approved, get you paid day in, day out, that's Americo. So you'll see why again in a few more minutes. Okay, let's move forward here. So anything final expense related, just go to our website. We don't want to confuse anyone. Okay, if you hover over the marketing tab, it'll say final expense and guaranteed issue. You can see it in blue there. And then there's a drop down, and every carrier and product we have is right below there. If you click on whatever carrier, you'll see all of the brochures for agents, for clients, rate books, marketing pieces. You can co-brand. Again, everything at your fingertips. So main thing is simplify, black and white, and that's what we're moving towards in 18. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce our feature presenter. So again, we have hand-selected Americo to be the main carrier for final expense here at Levinson on today's presentation. Without further ado, we have Andrew Costas, our account executive from Americo. Andrew?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the introduction. And, you know, we absolutely love the partnership with Levinson. And, you know, if that first 10, 12 minutes doesn't get you guys excited to know you're with the right IMO, I don't know what does. You know, there's a lot of people out there that offer a lot of different things, but what you find is that I think you found the right home when you partner with, you know, Levinson and Associates. Bill Levinson done a fantastic job of explaining all this. So what I wanted to do, though, is I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about Americo. Talk to you a little bit about who we are, what we do, what we're good at, and then most importantly, really dive into the technology piece. I'm going to try to keep this to about 25 minutes or so, because I certainly want to respect your time. But I do want to walk, again, a little bit about who we are, what we do, but then I'm actually going to do a live demo and show you how the process works from start to finish. So a little bit about Americo. We're one of the largest privately held insurance companies in the country, about $6.3 billion in consolidated assets, and we're A-rated with AM Best. So why is that first 3 slides important? Because what that means is you're dealing with a financially strong company that's going to be in it for the long haul. You know, you notice the 4th point there that we've been in the insurance industry for over 100 years. So we have 100 years experience in the insurance industry. We're one of the largest privately held insurance companies, and we're A-rated. So what that means is you're dealing with a financially strong company that's in it for the long haul. And so one of the things I wanted to point out as we dive into this is we've been in the insurance industry 100 years. And so you say, what does that mean? Well, what that means to us is, you know, traditionally life insurance was sold face-to-face by a paper application. And you say, you know, everybody on this call has probably written one before, probably written 500 of them before. And we still have paper applications we support every day. But we think some of the future going forward is e-applications. It's telesales. It's instant decision processing. We think that's the future. But one of the things I wanted to point out before we get into that is hopefully the two things I want you to take away from this call today is, number one, if you're not contracted with Americo, hopefully you walk away and you say, you know what, I'm going to reach out to Levinson. I want to get contracted with Americo. I like what I hear. And number two, hopefully you realize that Americo, the two goals we have is we're going to provide you the best platform in the country for final expense, and then we're going to pay you very well to do it. And when you say, well, what does that mean to pay you very well? Everybody has comp schedules. Everybody has all that good stuff. What does that mean? Well, for us, the reason we can say that is we have what we call our You First rewards. And we came out with this about a year ago, and quite honestly, it changed the industry. And you say, well, what is it? Well, if you write a minimum of $30,000 in paid qualifying life production during the qualification period, which again, right now the qualification period is December 1st to May 31st. So we have about 2 months left in this qualification period, and the next one will start June 1st. So if you write $30,000 in a 6-month window, let's say you get contracted with us today, and you call Levinson and they say, you know what, we want to get contracted, we want to get going. I'd encourage you to go ahead and start writing. Some of you out there can write $15,000 in a month. But for some of you to say, you know what, I write $5,000, $6,000 a month, go ahead and start writing with us. Start the process, learn how it works, see how exciting it is. So then come June 1st, you're off and running. But when you think about $30,000, I want to break it down very quickly for you. $30,000 divided by 6 months is $5,000 a month. And if you divide $5,000 a month by about, let's say, 4 weeks in a month, you're at $1,250 a week. So $1,250 in annualized premium a week will get you an 8% bonus. And the exciting thing on this is there's no cap. The more you produce, the larger the cash payout. And we actually paid over $1 million in bonuses in 2017 alone. The largest payout was over $20,000 for one agent. So you say, you know, the reason we like to put that out there is there's times where you'll hear different companies run bonuses. And the question is does anybody actually ever get the money? Or is this just like a marketing idea that maybe sounds good but doesn't work? We paid out over $1 million in 2017. We had one agent that wrote enough to get $20,000 in a 6-month period, and additional bonus payouts for the top 5. So if you're our number one agent in a 6-month period, we'll pay you another $5,000 just to say thank you for the business. And to be clear, there's nothing on here that will tell you that you have a reduced compensation in order to get part of this You First Rewards. This You First Rewards is our way of saying thank you. We know all the hard work. You know, Bill outlined some of it just early on. You know, the hard work is purchasing the leads or getting the leads. The hard work is setting up the appointment or getting in front of the clients with a door knock. The hard part is doing the presentation and finding out the client's needs. So all the hard work is done by yourself. If you think about Americo, what we want to do is we want to be able to be the carrier that says, we'll give you the best platform to make it easy as possible to issue business, and then we'll pay you really strong commissions and really strong bonuses to say thank you for it. So with that said, a couple things we like to talk about here. You'll see the word mortgage protection there as well. Americo's in 5 different markets. I know we're here to talk today about final expense, but the reason I left this slide in here is it's so important to us when you think about instant decision underwriting. When you think about final expense, 100% of the time with our Eagle Premier Series, you will get an instant decision. So 100% of the time you get a yes or no. There's never a time that it goes to the home office. There's never a time that you say, okay, well, wait a second, did it work? Did it not work? 100% of the time you get an instant decision. The other thing I'd really like to point out is if you look at this, the second to bottom bullet point, our e-application is 75% of our business. 4 years ago, it was there was 0%. So we think the technology is the future, and we're seeing that every day. And the last piece is we wrote over 175 applications over the weekend. And you say, wow, well, what does that mean? Why would you put that on there? Of course, people write applications during the day and on the weekends. What that means to us is there's 175 applications that were taken that got an instant decision on a Saturday and Sunday. Think about how powerful that is. How many of you out there have written a policy or gone out to see a client on a Saturday in the afternoon, and then you send it into the home office and you call them on Monday to make sure they got it, and they say, yeah, but it's going to be another day or two. And now all the hard work you did on Saturday hopefully gets issued Wednesday. For us, if you write it on Saturday and use our Eagle Premier Series, you'll know Saturday. You'll be set up. The client will be covered right there. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you're somebody that goes out later in the evening, if you write at 7 at night or 8 at night, you don't have to worry about whether Americo's open with our e-application. When you're open for business, we are. So again, think about this Eagle Premier Series. That's the one we're going to talk about today. And then one of the things you'll see here on the slide is how valuable is your time. We think, personally, from an Americo standpoint, we think your time is one of the most valuable assets you have. And that's really where the focus came from us in order to design the Eagle Premier Series. So a little bit about the Eagle Premier Series. Again, you'll see there's an instant decision on every single sale. So every time you sit down with a client, it's an instant decision. You'll notice the second bullet point, it's a standalone process. It's e-app or telesales. If you're on a call today and you've sold final expense before and you've heard people talk about different processes they have, a lot of times that word or is and. You'll hear a lot of times different carriers will say, well, you fill out this PDF and then there's a point of sale call at the end. Well, why did you take the time to fill the PDF out if you have to call somebody afterwards? With us, if you do an e-application, 100% of the time you get a yes or no decision and you never have to call our office. Or if you do a telesales call with us, what you don't have to do is do an e-app. You can do a telesales and get 100% instant decision. So either way, 100% of the time you get a yes or no. You'll see the different ways you can sign it. Signature by, and I'll show you this here very quickly in the WebEx, in the demo. Signature by tablet, email, or voice. So tactile signing. Let's say if you're somebody on the call today that has an iPad, has a Surface Pro, a laptop, you can bring it to the kitchen table when you're talking with the client and have the client sign your iPad right there and you're done. There's no need to print it out at the end and fax it into somebody else. They can sign it right there. Same way with email signature. If a client has an email, if I'm on the phone right now, we're located in Kansas City and I'm talking to Bill in Florida. If Bill was my client, I could say, Bill, if you don't mind, let me grab your email address. And he'd give me his email address, I'd put it in, and it pushes an email out to him, he signs it right there, we're done. It's that simple of a process. Or the third piece is a voice recording, which again is going to be our telesales process, which I'll touch on. But really, this is where the magic happens. At the end of the day, and I'm so excited to show you this demo here in just a minute, is prescription checks done within the first 3 to 5 minutes. I was just with a group last week in Atlanta, Georgia, and I asked by a show of hands, there's about 300 agents in the room, and I said, by show of hands, how many people have ever written a final expense policy only to find out at the very end of the process that the client didn't tell you about all the prescriptions or prescription check for whatever reason didn't allow the policy to be placed? And every hand in the room went up. And I said, continue to keep your hand up if that's ever happened to you and it was frustrating. Because again, all the hard work is done by you all. You all are fantastic at what you do. And again, our job is to provide the best process, product, and bonus structure out there to say thank you. So I'll show you how this works here in just a moment. But again, prescription check done in the first 3 to 5 minutes. We run prescription check before we ask a health question. So if you lead with Americo and you sit down with a client and you say, Miss Jones, if you give me 3 minutes of your time, what we can do is we can run prescription check and we'll be able to tell you if you're qualified for the policy or not. I've yet to meet a client that won't give you 3 to 5 minutes of their time. Now, there's a lot of clients that won't give you 45 minutes or even 35 minutes. But if you say, Miss Jones, if you give me 3 minutes, I can tell you where, thumbs up or thumbs down, they're going to give you that time. And Bill mentioned that there's several different carriers on the level side and also the guaranteed side. So if you lead with Americo and it's approved at level, fantastic. Finish the app up. If it's approved to guaranteed and you want to go with Americo, we have a guaranteed product too. That's awesome. But if you have a preferred carrier on the guaranteed side you want to use, okay, that's fine too. But you know what the important thing about this is you never lost the sale. You never got 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in, only to find out the prescription check kicked them out. You never lost the sale. You're in control of the sale from beginning to end because you can use our technology. And you'll see there the whole process can be done in 15 minutes. So a couple things to write down, and I can send Bill over this PowerPoint as well so he has all the details. But a couple things to keep in mind, quote.americo.com. That's an easy way on your mobile app to quote Americo. I know Levinson has different quoting tools that are fantastic as well. But the word quote, and it's not a typo, there's no www in front. Just the word quote.americo.com allows you to quote Eagle Premier and any and all of our products that you would like to sell. The second piece there you'll see is sc.americo.com. That's our production site. So if you go into the App Store and look for the Americo app, you're not going to find it. There's a lot of reasons why we haven't gone the route of an app, but what we found right now, the best way to do this is sc.americo.com. Again, S is in Sam, C is in Charlie.americo.com. The great news about it, which I'm going to dive into here in about 1 minute, is our demo site, which is scdemo.americo.com. And you say, why is that important? Because you know why? Because the first time you do an e-application, you may not want to be in front of the client. You may want to test it out. We think it works fantastic. But if you're anything like myself, I like to test things out before I go live with someone. And what's great about this is when you're contracted with us, you can use the demo site whenever you want. You can play with it in the morning, jump on Saturday, see how the process works. And it's a sandbox. You can't break it. You'll see our telesales number there. If you're somebody that's more comfortable selling over the phone, 855-248-8327. You say, wow, that number looks a little different than maybe some of the other companies we use for telesales. Here's the reason why. From an Americo standpoint, we do the calls internally here at Americo. We do not outsource. So we're not a company that uses Aptical or companies like that, which do a very good job. But again, from our standpoint, we thought we could do it even better here at Americo. So again, 855-248-8327. One of the things that differentiates us on that is that we want you as the agent to drive that call. So if we're on a three-way call, again, I'm in Kansas City, Bill's in Florida, and Bill says, you know what, I don't have an email address, but I want the Americo product. We could call this number right now, and myself as the agent could drive that whole process. The only thing the client has to answer is yes to the answer the health questions, and also yes to the authorization. Everything else, myself as the agent can answer. Why is that important? Because it makes it go fast. Because again, what's the first question I asked you is how valuable is your time? You'll see our sales support number there, 800-231-0801. These guys are awesome. We have 6 dedicated agents that are there to help you pre-sale. Levinson talked to you about a whole bunch of different options that they have when you contact their office. I'd strongly encourage you to continue to use them. They do a fantastic job in this space. But from an Americo standpoint, we have a great sales support team too. And our goal is to help you anything pre-sale. So if you need supplies, call us. If you want us to run quotes for you, call us. If you need a little bit of IT help as far as, hey, I'm logging on to this and I don't exactly know what that means, call them. They're there to help you all day long. So with that said, let's go over here to the demo site itself. So when you log in initially, you'd put a username and password in. It's going to come up something like this. You're going to see multiple features here: search, new illustration, new e-app, universal life illustrations. So the search button, what does that do? What that does is that allows you to search all your business, all the business that you've done. You can pull it up here. So you never have to wonder, well, what was that policy? What was that premium? What's that client's name? It's all going to be there. As a matter of fact, today's the 5th. And if you notice here, I'm counting as I'm going here, there's probably 25 on page 1. These are all people that went out and practiced on the e-app just today through the demo site. New illustration allows you to run quotes. Again, quote.americo.com is a great way to do it too. New illustrations, you can quote Eagle Premier, but if you're somebody that writes other products that maybe require a little more illustrations, your ULs, IULs, things along those lines, new illustrations are a great way to do it. But really what I want to dive into here in the interest of time is a new e-app. So let's say the client lives in Illinois. What you would do is the first screen here, and again, we have full trainings on this, so we can certainly do for you as well. I'm going to, in the interest of time, go through this just to show you how it works. So again, I'm sitting down with Bill, and let's say we're sitting in Illinois. I put in his date of birth, and let's put male here, and hit Eagle Premier Series. At this point, I'd hit create. So right now, what it's going to do is it's going to create our e-application platform. You'll notice on the left-hand side, everything, the red circles, the goals to turn them to green check marks. Again, really elementary process. But what we need here is you'll see on the screen, there's some things that are in yellow and some things that are in white. All we need is what's in yellow. So the first thing I would do as an agent, I would put in my agent ID. Once you're appointed with us, you'll have your own agent ID. Very easy to use. If you notice, it populates your name. Are you with the proposed insured? Let's say yes. Let's say Bill and I were both sitting in Illinois. You put in his name, hit next. Again, remember what the goal was. Red circles, green check marks. You'll see it turn green. What that means, you did everything right. Is the proposed insured going to be the owner? Let's say yes, because in the final expense space, a lot of times that's the case. Oops. So you'd put in the, and again, we're in Illinois, so let's put Chicago. And again, all we need is what's in yellow. What's in white's nice to have. What's in yellow is what we have to have. And how many years has the proposed insured lived at the address? One of the great things about this system is if it's 5 years or more, put 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is. Let's say it's 3 years. What it does is it actually provides you the prior address. We have to have that for MIB purposes. The nice thing is what you'll find with our Eagle Premier is everything we need is built into the e-app. So there's never a time you have to go get an amendment or get a paper signed or something like that after the fact. Home phone number, again, you'd have the home phone number, social security number. You put that in, state they were born. The reason we care about the state they were born is to run prescription check, or excuse me, MIB. Here's the reason why, is there's a lot of Doug Smiths that live in Dallas, Texas, and we want to make sure that we're running it on the right one. Again, you hit next. You see on the left-hand side, the goal is red circles, green check marks. Good job, we did everything right. Let's say they want $5,000 in coverage. So one of the things that you'll have here is you'll see they'll have day of week drafting. You say, well, what is that? I've heard of that, but what does that mean? What that means to us is that you can draft a certain day of every week. So you think about in the senior market, a lot of times Social Security comes through the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of every month. So from our standpoint, what that means is if the client would like, and again, this is optional, you certainly don't have to do this, but if you wanted to draft the second Wednesday of every month, our system can do it. So our system will draft, instead of a certain date, instead of the 15th of every month, it'll draft the second Wednesday, which obviously helps with persistency. But if the client says, no, I'm good, I want to draft today, perfect. It's going to draft today. Or if they say, you know what, the 15th is really where I want to do this, then you just hit change date and you go down here and you just change the date to whatever date you want. So if you want the 15th, select the 15th and you move on from there. So very, very flexible draft date. That's one of the questions we always get asked. The second question we get asked now is how far can you push the policy out? The answer is 45 days. I would encourage you not to go that far because a lot of times the policy doesn't stick. If you haven't drafted a policy in 45 days, you can imagine kind of this sticker shock when all of a sudden it hits someone's bank account and they've forgotten about it. So we encourage you to draft as quickly to the date you sell the policy as you can, but you can go out up to 45 days. Has the proposed insured smoked cigarettes? Keep in mind, our definition is just cigarettes and e-cigarettes. That's all we care about. If you have a client that smokes a cigar on a golf course, maybe watching the Masters this weekend and smoking a cigar, that's a non-smoker to us. If they chew tobacco, that's a non-smoker to us. The only thing that we look for is cigarettes and e-cigarettes. Think about the height, weight. Again, 6 foot, 340 pounds. So one of the things that you can add on to here as well, if you'd like, you can add a grandchild rider. So how that works is you would just put up to $5,000 in coverage for each child is $1 a month more. You know, Bill mentioned, and rightfully so, we mentioned all the great plans Levinson has in place for college tuition and all the good stuff going along with that. Well, imagine if you combine that along with the fact that you can cover a grandchild for $1 a month for $5,000 in coverage. So very, very easy to do. Again, optional, you certainly don't have to, but if you'd like to, you hit calculate. It's going to give you the premium here, and the premium is $28.75. Last piece here you'll see is automatic premium loans. This is a whole life policy, so you just check yes to that. Now here's where the magic happens. Hit sign authorization. So if you remember, I told you this whole process could be done in 15 minutes. I started the demo, we just rolled on Central Time to 1:35. So we're about 5-6 minutes into it, and that's with me explaining it. So once you get good at this, you would be in the 3 to 4 minute mark to get to this point. If you notice, I hit tablet signature. Again, I'm face-to-face with Bill. I hit sign, takes you to DocuSign. What this does here is you click I agree, you click continue, and sign authorization, and Bill would sign his name. And again, you're doing this from a tablet, you're doing this from a stylus, you're doing this from a laptop. Hit adopt and sign, hit finish. At this point here, our system, it takes about 20 seconds. What it's doing is what the client just signed right there, what Bill just signed was our authorization to run prescription check and also run MIB. Now we do run MIB at the very end, but we run prescription check right now. You'll see right now it says, please wait while the system's updating. Again, this process is about 20 seconds, but in the interim of this, again, if you're in the sales technique, you're sitting there, you're talking to the client, and you hit initiate underwriting. At this point here, if you notice, now what our system's doing is it's running the background checks. It's running prescription check right now. If you look over here on the left-hand side, we haven't gotten the health information yet, and we just got a message back saying initial underwriting check complete. Based on the proposed insured prescription check, they may qualify for level death benefit up to $5,000. So again, the amount we requested was $5,000. The good news is at this point, you can tell the client you passed prescription check. Good job. That's the #1 qualifier, disqualifier, and final expense. And we're so confident that this would be issued that we actually give you a policy number up here. If you notice, it's AM52756624. Imagine when you're sitting down with a client and you say, can you give me 3 minutes of your time, Ms. Jones? And she gives it to you, and prescription check comes back okay. And now you say, Ms. Jones, pull a pen out if you don't mind. Write down this policy number. I still need to ask you the health questions and grab your banking and beneficiary information. But for all intents and purposes, you're good to go. That's pretty powerful in a sales environment when the client can be that comfortable and that confident in the process. So again, what you would do is we did the initiate underwriting. Our demo side here is taking a little bit longer than it usually does. And then you'd walk through the rest. So you'd walk through the replacement information. You see replacement, let's say no. If they are replacing it, the answer is yes, they can do it. We just need all the information about the other coverage. I would say in a majority of instances, the answer to this question is no. You certainly need to ask it, but I would say the answer is no. Now the next piece here is the health questions. There's 11 health questions. It looks like 19, and you say, wow, that sounds like a great marketing ploy. Well, how's that? Because what we did was you think about in the final expense space, think about how many applications you've ever seen that read like a paragraph. And so it says, have you ever been treated, tested positive, given medication for, and then it's this really long paragraph. And halfway through the client says, what'd you say? And now you have to say it over again. What we did was we took the questions and we broke it out in conversational format for you. Very, very easy to use. You'll also see in blue here, we gave you the pronunciation of the word. So some of these medical terms can be hard to pronunciate. So we gave it to you. We made it easy for you, gave it to you. Again, you go in, you ask the health questions. Client answers no, let's say, to all the health questions. Very simple to do. You just select no to these. Once the client, you ask the question and the client answers it. And you go to next. Again, we'll wrap up here in about 2 minutes for you. Owner, we've already answered that question. On to the next one here. This is information on the grandchild. Let's say one of the great things about this grandchild rider is at the end of the day, we don't ask for any more information via paper. So we are not a company that says, hey, do an e-app with us, but then you need to fax a bunch of stuff in. You're going to hear me say that a lot, but it's very true. So a lot of companies, when they add grandchild riders, you have to prove that you're the grandfather or grandmother. For us, we figured if you have this information, that's sufficient. Again, adding primary beneficiaries. You can add as many as you'd like, so long as they total 100%. And you'd hit next here. You'd hit proposed insurers, let's say child, relationship, I should say. Hit next. Then you get to the bank account information. The bank account information for us, we need it to either be a checking or savings account. One of the things we get asked all the time is, what about Debit Express? We do not do Debit Express. What we have found, and maybe statistics are out there different, but what we have found is that Debit Express, the persistency is typically not the best on that. And what we want to, again, when you think about all the hard work you do to get into a home, what we want to make sure at the end of the day is you're compensated for your time and the client's covered and there's no in-between gaps. So we found checking and savings account work the best. One of the things that we did do here was we built in a validation. So you put in a routing number that's a bogus number, it'll say invalid routing number. Say, why is that important? Because sometimes when you're talking with in the senior market and they're reading the bottom of a check, if you look in this one, there's 6 or 7 zeros there. They may leave off a 0. Well, we want to make sure we have the right routing number. So we validate the number for you. At this point, you put the account number in, hit next. And a little information about the agent. Are you related to the proposed insured? No. How long have you known them? 15 minutes. Again, that's all it takes. Did you use any pre-approved materials? No. Did the applicant approach you? No. Is there any existing life insurance? No. Phone number, you'd put in your phone number as the agent. You put in your agent number, or your agent email address. Involved in the sale? No way. Do you want one split it? Because you did all the hard work. You want to keep all the commissions. So you go to the next screen here. And this is where it ends. So you hit an underwriting decision. Here's what this is doing right now. This is running MIB and looking to make sure the health questions were answered no. And when I say making sure they're answered no, obviously you have to ask them. And if they answer yes, it goes to guaranteed product. But with that said, you get something like this. Congratulations. The underwriting review of the application has been approved for coverage. At this point here, again, remember 3 minutes in, we gave you a policy number. And we told you, congratulations, you passed prescription check. Now we're at about 7 minutes past that, and at this point here, you know it's been approved. So what you would do, initiate tablet signing. At this point here, what this is going to do is going to take you back to DocuSign, which again we used, if you remember just a few minutes ago, we used DocuSign for to run the prescription or to sign for the authorization for prescription check. Here's what it does now. Nice clean application, all coming in good order. The only thing you have to put in here, you put the state in, because again, if you remember, we were in Chicago, and here's the great thing is once you sign this application and hit adopt and sign, hit Chicago here, it remembers your signature. So you hit it once, hit it once, hit it once. There's no way you can turn in an app that it's not in good order. It's impossible. And again, instant decision. So now Bill signed it as the client. Now I'm going to go in and sign it as the agent. Again, exact same process. And guys, I'm doing this from a laptop right now just to tell you how easy this process is. So again, I would go down here. I would sign as the agent. The only thing we ask is don't sign with an X, attempt to make a signature. Again, hit next, hit sign. It remembers your signature, hit next, remembers your signature, and hit finish. At this point here, it's going to take you out of DocuSign, and it's going to put you back in the eApp. The last thing this does here is our system updates it very quickly, just to say everything is updating. The last piece you'll do here in just a moment, I'll show you, is hit submit, and then in about 1 minute, I'll close and turn it back over to Bill. So again, when you think about our e-application process, it's truly that simple of a process. We started at about 127, 128 talking about this, and it's 1:43 right now Central Time, and we're done. And if you say, wow, I don't know if that, it seems like you know the process well. I know it because I use the demo site. Use the demo site. I strongly encourage you to do that. A couple great features that are built into the Eagle Premier Series is an accidental death benefits built in free of charge. So think about that. Accidental death benefit free of charge. So if a client passes, you have a $5,000 policy, they pass away of an accident, we'll pay $10,000. A lot of companies, that's an upsell of $1 or $2 or $1.80 a month. For us, it's built in. So very, very easy to use. Again, if I was sitting face-to-face with Bill, we're done. The policy number is assigned. If it's sold before 3 o'clock Central Time, we mail the policy the same day. So Bill's done, and I'm done at this point. Myself as the agent, I'm on to the next sale, and Bill's covered that day. So he's covered that day. Within 2 days, he's going to have his policy. And if you're somebody like myself that says, you know what, I love e-applications, I love the technology, but, at the end of the day, I also have an office that I have file cabinets, things like that. Once we hit that submit button that says, thank you for submitting the application, you can go up here to open. And what this is going to do here, if you notice, it's right there for you. So as soon as it's submitted, it's in your business. So you can find at any point, you can go back and see all the different stuff that you've done. So again, very, very easy to use process. One of the things that I'm going to throw out there for you, and this makes us a little bit different, but what you'll find from an Americo standpoint is we're a relationship company. We believe in relationships at the agency level, at the IMO level, and at the agent level. And so one of the things I like to do is my name's Andrew Costas. I'm one of the account executives here at Americo. I want a chance to be able to talk with you, answer any and all questions you have. So if you have a pen available, I'd encourage you to write my email address down. It's Andrew, which is ANDREW, .Costas, which is KOS, T as in Tom, US, at Americo.com. That's Andrew.Costas at Americo.com. And one of the things I'd encourage you to do is as you think about this, shoot me an email. And if you're somebody on the call that says, you know what, I like what I heard, please reach out to Levinson, get contracted. Because once you're contracted, you can get in the demo site and we can get you into production. So let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Obviously, you partner with a fantastic organization with Levinson. And with Bill, with that, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Great job. So, you see now how slick the platform is. Awesome product, very competitive, lots of value add. But, you're scratching your head saying, wow, great product. Now, next step, get prospects to speak to, right? We need a good lead program that generates production. So, yes, now we have the product. And the final step is retrieve, get prospects. We have to sell products. So what we did, we have teamed up and built over the last 10, 15 years an awesome final expense platform that I want to dive into. So, I hope everyone now sees exactly what we were talking about earlier with how slick the technology is and how the platform is so easy, okay? I think we all can agree now that that was correct, and that's 100% fact. So we know that. That's great. Let's put that aside for a minute. Now we're going to show you how to get your foot in the door to share your story, okay? So great stuff. Joe is going to take it in just a couple minutes, but I want to show you what we have that you can utilize and leverage us for all of these great tools. So the first one, LegacySafeguard. This is available to you at no charge for you or any downline agents. This is a complete turnkey platform, okay, that has all of the legacy planning services built in. End-of-life planning, guidance and assistance platform for your client that purchases a final expense policy from you. Full support for survivors, estate planning support. We have a life events marketing tools built into the platform. So we can either mail you a physical kit, or we have a disc that we can send you. You can use this on your laptop to sit down and show all of the value add to a client that's thinking about buying a final expense policy from you. You can even host your own seminars or webinars by utilizing all of our LegacySafeguard material. And again, you don't pay for this. There's no commission reduction. It's all available at no charge to the Levinson agents. So Joe's going to dive into our final expense lead scripts, we have a mailer lead program, a regular mortgage protection lead program, and then of course final expense. Then we're going to show you how you can retrieve 1,000 final expense prospects every month with names, addresses, emails that you can use our marketing material to go after. So all of this is available. Joe's going to take it from here and show you exactly how everything works. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So the first thing I want to cover, and of course, everything that you're seeing here will be included in today's email you'll receive this afternoon, so you can actually click through, download all the white paper reports. One of the best resources, and I think this is extremely important, is the A to Z guide on closing final expense sales. This is about a 35-page document that includes phone scripts specifically for the final expense sale. There's also about 4 different closing techniques depending on the client, what type of situation you're in. There's also several pages on overcoming client objections. So this report was put together by some of the top final expense agents in our industry. We'll be sending that out. It's really an invaluable tool, I think, for a lot of agents. Even if you've been selling final expense for years, every time I work with an agent or an agency and we go over this guide, they always pick up something that helps them actually close more business. So that's the first final expense resource that you'll be receiving in this afternoon's email. The second one is really, really unique. It's actually a full guide on earning referrals and building a thriving business. So if you look towards the side of the screen here on the left, we put together some important numbers here, and this is just a snapshot of a couple agencies' production. It says here, out of 508 closed sales, 89% were from referrals and just 11% were from cold calls. So that tells us right there, building referrals, being able to get into that home, speak with that client, and get additional referrals is really vital to closing a lot of final expense business. And that goes for any product, whether it's term or universal life or whole life, even mortgage protection. This referral guide can help you in every single one of those aspects of the business. Inside of this guide, you're going to see a complete guide to earning referrals and a really, really neat 6-step referral process that I've seen agents implement into their practice and close a lot more business just by implementing those practices. So again, we'll be sending out the full copy this afternoon for you to review. Bill mentioned one of our top final expense lead programs. This is actually a direct mailer. We do actually cover some of the costs. So this is mailed out. You can actually pick the exact age of the clients, the zip codes, estimated income. You can pick specific counties. The cost is $420 per thousand. The average return is about 2.5%. These are 100% exclusive. The best part is it's marketing that final expense program. These are sent directly back to you as an agent. So you'll have the hard copy of that return mailer in your hands to be able to use. Bill also mentioned pulling 1,000 prospects every single month. That's using our agency Automator platform. What's so great about the Automator platform is it has a built-in email marketing system. So you can actually drill down, put in your zip code, and say, maybe I want a 20-mile radius of all clients age 65 plus that own a home, that have a net worth of $150,000 to $400,000. It will give you not only the names, but the email addresses, the phone number, everything you need to know to actually reach out to that client. And of course, we have about 2,000 different email templates built into that email marketing system. Also tied into that agency Automator platform is a free agent retail website. There's a screenshot right in front of you here to actually see how this looks, but this website is fully customizable. We saw in a couple recent statistics, over 80% of clients who are purchasing some sort of life insurance coverage are doing some research online. So having a website, is really like having a modern day business card. Clients want to find out who you are, what you do, what your experience is. This turnkey website that we created does just that. Not only does it have a place for your clients to actually go, you can capture their lead information, so you get an email instantly with all their contact information. It also has an instant quote page where your clients can run not only term, but final expense quotes as well. It has some great videos, some information on different products. Clients can even run quotes and apply for coverage directly from your website. So this is definitely a must-have tool. I will mention the final expense quote engine is also available on carrielevinson.com. So even if you don't have an agent website, you can go in today underneath the quoting tab and start running quotes. And you'll see just how competitive that Americo product is as well.
Okay, great stuff, Joe. We're just about done, by the way. We have about 2.5 minutes left, and we'll wrap this up. Okay, just a few more things that I'm going to mention. Last but not least, very, very important stuff here. Again, ways to get your foot in the door to share your story. So, final expense, mortgage protection, even estate planning to a degree, it's all about a marketing spin, right? It's all about getting the chance to speak to a prospect, to share your story. And then once you get your foot in the door, okay, mortgage protection lead can turn into a $40,000 IUL sale, okay? A final expense mailer lead can turn into a $250,000 annuity sale. So the point is, all we're coming up with great ideas and platforms and technology so you can get your foot in the door and you can pivot to whichever direction that you need to go in to help the client best, right? That comes number one, and then help you second to make sure you're compensated for your time. But it's our job at Levinson to give you all of these great tools, platforms, different marketing ideas so you can get your foot in the door. Like I said earlier, you hear about the 220% commission, but again, you have no one to talk to. So big deal. What good is that going to do anyone, right? We all know how that works. So real quick, the scholarship platform is only available from Levinson with all of those carriers on the bottom. And again, another way to get your foot in the door, because let's face it, not everyone wants to talk about life insurance. It's not an exciting topic, as we know. Well, nowadays with living benefits, okay, it became a little more excited. But guess what? With scholarship, now all of a sudden you have that client's attention. Okay, let's face it. Most of your prospects either have children or grandchildren or a niece, nephew, cousin that maybe is in middle school or elementary or just started high school that would love to talk about how they can save a year of college tuition. So we have 370 plus colleges in the program, and every company on the bottom there, okay, what's included with the sale of one of those products is a 1-year free scholarship. And once you're enrolled in the program, which doesn't cost you anything, there's no commission reduction, no gray area, you're allowed to give out these $500 gift cards just for someone coming to see you to talk about scholarship and life insurance. And that could be on the phone. It could be webinar, seminar, all the above. We have all the marketing material, everything built around the platform. And again, no charge for Levinson agents. So another value added perk by working with us. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to be kind of quick. I want to end right before 3 p.m. Eastern. Our expo now is right around the corner. We have over 250 RSVPs, all of our top agents, agencies from across the country, a great way to network with other agents just like you and me, right? We know how that works. These are two of our keynotes that will be in attendance and speaking. We have Neil Wilding, who actually created our IUL sales software, another great tool provided by Levinson to help you get your foot in the door to talk about indexed UL. On the right side, we have the infamous Joe Ross. He is bar none the best life insurance trainer in the industry. Okay, he's going to speak for an hour to all of our agents about new sales strategies, ideas, way that you can leave that expo and make sales that evening, okay, by making the most of your prospecting lists and how to generate new lists and people to market to. So between both of these guys, this will be an unforgettable day that will take your practice to the next level. You're not going to hear about ratings and how this company is worth $5 billion. No, this is all about sales ideas and strategies that you can use to change your business for the better. So make sure you're registered for the Levinson 18 Agent Expo. Okay, moving forward, our upcoming agent training events. That's exactly what you're on right now. So, we understand that, you're out there, let's say in the middle of Wisconsin, New Jersey, Connecticut, wherever you're from, which is fine. Okay, we have agents in almost every city now in the country. So it's so important. Sometimes we get caught up in our day-to-day lives, but you have to have your finger on the pulse and know what's going on in our industry. So we provide these trainings at no charge, okay, and it's important for you to be on these, okay? Today, we have almost 250 agents on, so that's huge for a Thursday afternoon, right after a holiday weekend here. So big thank you to everyone on the call, but make sure you're on our training. Real quick, Agency Automator, that's where you're going to get your 1,000 prospects every single month. CRM tool, everything is built in. If you want to brush up or see what this is about even, every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, you can jump in, ask questions. That's a live interactive call twice a week, live training by Kevin. In fact, Kevin will be one of the speakers at our expo as well. So again, don't miss that expo and those webinars. Agency Automator Plus in red there, same concept as Agency Automator, but this was built for you to recruit agents to your downline by utilizing all of our marketing material and great programs like what we just went over on today's call. So that's another way you can recruit and build your very own downline by leveraging the Levinson tools and technology. Just under that, One America. Long-term care now, right? We know what's going on with long-term care. Everything is becoming this linked benefit plan, right? So One America is one of the leaders in that space. In fact, you can call Israel Goldman. He's heading up our LTC division in-house here at Levinson, and he would be happy to brush up on any LTC questions or knowledge, anything you would like to know about. The webinar is on the 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Just under that, we are going to have the co-creator of the Levinson Scholarship Platform on we're having a 100% scholarship webinar training. April 18th, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's a call you don't want to miss. We're going to show you how to package scholarships into life, long-term care, disability, critical illness, even annuities. So do not miss the scholarship training. Okay, we're going to end with this. First of all, we had a great turnout for today's training, so I want to wish everyone a special thank you. I want everyone to have a great week and weekend. I love to end on a positive note. That's Gene Simmons that I met on the left side of your screen there. So, I learn a lot of things from our agents, from friends, family members, mentors, celebrities in this case. And, I try to ask questions, and if I can take one nugget of information away, I feel like I won. And I love to share that stuff with our agents, because the name of the game, yeah, life insurance is great. It could be the best kept secret in the world, and it has been for us, and I hope it is for you. But let's face it, we have all these things around us called life. And I feel like for all of us to be successful sales people, right, we have to be in the right frame of mind. Okay, so I always like to end with something positive. This is our Positive Tuesday quote, which we put live on our Facebook page every Tuesday if you want to check it out. Also, you can see on the bottom, I have my signature and my handle there. It says @BillyLevinson. I suggest all of our agents market themselves the same way. Get your name out there. It's all about branding and marketing, as we know. So we'll end with this. Don't be the kind of person that takes what you can get. Be the kind of person that creates exactly what you want. With that said, have a great rest of the week, a good weekend, and great selling. Take care.